Back in January in 2021, we were doing some work on the lagoon you see behind us, and we're always looking to improve the bird habitats here at the nature reserve. Rutland Water's a great big reservoir, biggest reservoir in England, and it's really nationally and internationally important for its wildlife. It was a cold day. We were walking across the lagoon with a laser level over our shoulders, and I noticed just a series of rocks sticking out of the mud. And they just looked something odd and something unusual about them. So under closer inspection, could see these little nodules, and I thought, hang on, this looks slightly like a spinal section, like vertebrae. My colleague Paul Trevor, who I was with, then noticed what looked like a bit of a jawbone, which actually turned out to be a shoulder bone, and we just knew we needed to look into it a bit further.
What sort of interest have you had internationally?
Internationally, I think it's gone across the world. My interviews-wise, New York Times have interviewed me, but I know it's gone out to Dubai, to Australia, probably about as far as it gets. So we're getting more and more international press interest as it goes.
And what do you think is going to happen to the remains now?
So the remains were dug up. Initially in February we did a small exploration of them and realised that the fossil we found was relatively intact and articulated, so the spine was almost all together. And so this 10 metre long ichthyosaur, Temnodontosaurus, which was uncovered, is just an amazing find. And what I'd hoped to happen is that it remains local and people can come visit it and see it. But it's going to take a year and a half to clean it up, to study it, and then to recreate it. But really, what I'd love to see is it as it was, but also maybe as a fleshed out version, a life-size model of an ichthyosaur of that type, 11.5 metres with all its flesh on it as well. With it would just be an amazing thing to see. The reservoir is owned by England Water, and we manage this end as the Wildlife Trust. And I think we've all got a vested interest for something so significant to benefit the community, to be preserved, and just for everybody to enjoy it. And I think that particularly young people just seem to be so fascinated by the dinosaur times. It was a marine reptile, even though it's called an ichthyosaur. It's not actually a dinosaur, and they were more land-based. But I think that the kids just love it, and I think that people could come and enjoy it for years to come.